So last time I went after the Undying Ones, the hostile enclave that has a bloater gas launcher. I was forced to retreat. This time I'm not going to. This time we're gonna grab the right weapons. We're gonna get down there, and this guy is going down. I already shot his two allies, who are actually, probably a little bit innocent in the whole thing. Whatever. They decided who they were gonna work with. I'm gonna bring some of the good heals, including a first aid kit. I'm going to bring fire, napalm grenades, smoke grenades, fireworks to bring in zombies to attack them, flares to light up their gas, or firecrackers too, whatever. Yeah. Okay, so last time I brought a partner with me. The partner just got murdered. So I don't know if I want to do that again. I mean, but I didn't get killed. Which was a plus. So who could I afford to potentially lose? What's everyone's specialties? I mean, we love Thom. Thom's got electronics. Yeah, cuisine, agriculture, plumbing, engineering, sewing, nutrition. Probably nutrition is the one I don't necessarily need to worry about all that much. Christy, are you feeling like coming with me? Wait, where are you going? I don't even want to know. So it's entirely possible Christy has not been spawned in. One thing I definitely think this game needs is the ability to select a follower from the community screen rather than having to find them in real life. I'm pretty sure Christy's just not even here. So I guess, okay, here's something I guess that we can do. Hey, come here. Come here. Yaren! Where you go? Yaren, come here. Okay, you're my follower now. Actually, I'm going to switch to you. So now Dustin is my follower. Now I'll switch to Christy. Now I'm Christy with Dustin as my follower, right? Dustin? Come here, Dustin. Hey, Dustin. Oh, she's got that awesome shotgun, too. Anyway. And now I've got Dustin. Let's give Christy some bandages. So she's capable of healing herself between combats, I should say. And we're going to head down there. Oh, wait. My vehicles are not in the best shape. Let's craft some toolkits. Make the vehicles work again. Oh, so many zombies around. I've got so many parts. And I know that my collection of stuff is nothing compared to the people who do serious long play communities. But all right. We'll take these. Oh, and actually one thing I don't know is if I've got enough fuel either. One thing at a time. Yeah, so 34 Painesville says, bandages, the secret to companion healing. Apparently. I'm testing this out. I'm not dead certain that that's actually how it works. But, so that's the a programmer did tell me that that's supposed to be what's going on under the hood. But because what was I looking? I was looking to see if there was gas. That's right. Not much. Okay. A programmer on the team told me that's how it's supposed to work. I have not actually witnessed it happening myself. And so I kind of want to. So that's one reason why I'm bringing her out that way, is to verify that this rumor, that we've got the ability for them to heal themselves if they have bandages in their inventory, that rumor is true. Let's make some gas. I'm with the nutritionist. I'm not supposed to get gas. Ha ha ha. Anyway. And we'll drop this off in the back. Okay. You ready, Christy? Ready to take this idiot down? We just need to somehow get this guy distracted. Get him unable to fire his gun. That's the thing we need. And it could end up being, like, if we get the drop on him, he doesn't fire a bloater gas grenade at us. Then it'll probably go real easy. I mean, I've got a Tommy gun. I can just blast him full of lead. But that's the question. Are we going to be able to get in there before there's a bloater gas grenade? That thing just annihilates people. But once I have that, I've got a heavy-duty ammo press. Does that help? I don't know. Anyway, I feel like that could be the key to winning the Sheriff Legacy this time, instead of, you know, getting annihilated, which is what I did last time. That was my strategy last time, was to get annihilated. Okay, bunch of zombies. I'm gonna hide over here, hopefully out of sight.
Let's be careful. There's a few nearby.
Let's let the zombies come after my car without necessarily seeing me. Oh, crap. Well, never mind. Let's deal with the zombies first. Just so they're not sneaking up behind us. Okay, we good? We good? I don't know I'm sneaking. Okay, so napalm grenade is going to be my first strategy.
I see a stranger over there.
Where? Oh. Okay, okay. Oh.
Fire in the hole!
Oh, yes, yes. Yes! We got him. Didn't even need the fire. Okay, 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 okay. Nice. Echo S5 gas launcher. Echo 2 Mamba. I believe that is the item that you can actually kill a Juggernaut with without it noticing you're there. Hey, you, come here. I want access to your inventory. Come here. Whoa, why can't I access your inventory? Why can't I interact with you? Oh, weird. Huh, something broke. Well, I guess I can bring the car over. Oh, this guy's a swordsman, isn't he? Nice. Well, he definitely deserves an Echo. After all that, he deserves an Echo 2 Mamba. What am I doing? Where's my inventory? Echo 2 Mamba is yours, buddy. You've earned it. This guy's a hero. "34 Painesville said they've been watching somebody who's modded State of Decay to make it even harder. Like, even harder than Lethal Zone. Brian Menard? Yeah, that sounds right. What's the best, most efficient way to store a bunch of crap in here? Not like that. If I can carry a bigger stack than the car can, not very helpful for my inventory. Okay. Let's go pick up more stuff. There's more loot on that Red Talon guy that I want to grab. There's also the dead body of Lee, who came out here with me before and gave his life, unfortunately. That's a loud car, I guess. Oh, shoot. Okay, those other zombies don't see us for some reason, so I'm just going to grab this stuff. And then I believe Lee's body was... Didn't he die over here? Am I? Huh. I don't see it anymore. I could have sworn that his zombified corpse came after me over here and I shot it. Didn't I? And I thought I saw a coffin icon over here before I killed the guy. Weird. Oh, hey, Christy. I can talk to you again? Cool. Here, why don't you take this and some of these and these and these and these. Oh, you're full? That's right, because you can't carry stacks as big as me. I'm going to take this crap back, I guess. All right. Yeah, that's weird. Maybe I didn't... Did I not kill Lead? Is Lead still wandering around as a zombie? I didn't think so. Now, what about the other hostiles that I shot over here? Their bodies should be around too, shouldn't they? Huh. How weird. All right, well, I guess we'll get out of here. Guess that's all we got. Well, that was almost anticlimactic. I expected that to be harder than it was. But I think maybe it's just because we rushed him and we ended up getting, you know, close to him. He switched to fighting with the Mamba instead of hitting us with the bloater gas. I think he fired once. I think I heard the sound of it firing. So I think that he did fire once and just missed us. And then we were close enough that he switched to melee. So, not the most satisfying revenge. You kind of wanted it to be a little bit more of a nail biter. Whatever. We're good. So now, what we want to do is get Yaren some experience. Yaren is going to be our sheriff, but before she can be our sheriff, she's got to gain some standing. Which means she's got to go out there killing zombies, killing freaks, going on missions, that kind of thing. And also, I want to get her skills maxed out as high as I can, too. Because she's going to have to go in person and be the person who fights the bad guys in the sheriff legacy. And if we want that to work...
Yes.
Actually, let's just switch to you. And dismiss you. Let's dump the rest of our stuff in the supply locker. Doink, doink. It's good enough for now. All right, and now let's see if we can find Yaren. Yaren, are you here? You were one of the most recent people I interacted with, so I'm hoping you're still here. But you're also recently added community member. I genuinely don't know how the game decides which community members to bring into the world and which ones not to. I don't know if it's based on seniority or just random chance or what, but yeah, it looks like Yaren was not loaded, so. Okay, so now we're Yaren. Hey, Christy, I still want you to come with me, though, because you got an awesome shotgun.
I feel like we're a part of something special here.
So, Christy, you're still coming with me. And then, okay, what do we got here? So, she's been carrying the backup bossy, but she's also got this G45. We want to get into some trouble with lots of zombies. Actually, this Vector is kind of cool, though. Okay, so G45, does that mean it's actually 45 caliber? Yeah, no, it's 9mm. Well, that's confusing. Glock, what's wrong with you? We could use the Golden Vulture, but I'm going to save that. And yeah, you know, I think pistol rounds are mostly what I've got here. So, you know what? A 9 is probably probably the most efficient choice here. So let's... Is this 9? Yeah, that's 9. Got kind of some garbage equipment here. You know, let's bring some of that with us and some of that. And to get out of trouble, bring some fire. I should probably get a suppressor. Probably, except my whole point is I'm trying to get into trouble. So I think I'm not going to bring a suppressor for this gun. In fact, maybe I'll get a brake for this gun. Boom, boom, boom. Handmade brake. Oh, you know what else I need? I need a crossbow. I've been like mulching crossbows like crazy, but eventually I'm going to need a crossbow because I've got a bounty to go after that's got crossbows. Oh yeah, actually I've got it up right now. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to complete a bounty. So let's not carry this pistol around. Or maybe I'll carry the pistol as backup. I don't know. Let's grab the crossbow though. Let's grab the crossbow. Let's have that be. We're out there learning. We're learning to hunt, and you gotta start with the low tech stuff first. So let's load up this car with whatever we need to keep it in good shape. Got some fire. Okay, so we're gonna kill screamers with fire. We're also gonna kill screamers with crossbows, and we've got a heavy weapon to kill zombies with. So we're just gonna ignore that weird thing Christy did and pretend she's a normal human being. Now, have I bumped into any screamers along the way? It looks like not. I don't have any infestations because I'm awesome. So there is that Ranger SUV up here that was destroyed. I'm pretty sure that that's actually... Was this the vehicle? I feel like this vehicle might have been something to my community. Like, at some point was the sheriff driving this around? This feels like a sheriff-y type vehicle, right? Maybe as a sheriff, that's what I want to be driving. Oh. Mission. Oh, come on. I thought I was going to smack that zombie with the fender of my car. All right. Well, anyway, I don't mind getting in a fight with these zombies. It's helping me with the bounty. Okay, but one of the main things I want is standing. And I think missions do give you standing. So we want this character to get leveled up to hero. Oh, man, I love drifting around in these cars. Travel to the base of the nobodies. All right, nobodies, here we come. Woohoo! All right, here we go. I'll kill this zombie who's not hurting anyone. Looks like you got that one. Wait, is that a red talon? Is that a red talon zombie? Well, looks like that went badly for someone.
Well, I guess our plan didn't really do them much good.
Another Mamba? Another gas launcher? What? What? That's crazy. I really lucked out. Okay, this stuff isn't as exciting.
I found something at least. That's all I have.
Sure, why not? Oh, so Sharkness Crazy asks, are there only new missions each day, or does it happen after you complete one? So what's happening in the background is we've got these things called fate decks, which are just like, basically just, they randomize when missions happen. You know, it's like each fate deck says, okay, every X amount of time, draw a card. And it's got this deck of cards, sort of imaginary cards, that represent potentially missions happening. And there's qualifications, like it'll only draw this card if you're under certain conditions, if, you know, they can find a place to spawn the mission, that kind of thing. So basically we've got multiple fate decks going simultaneously that are all trying to spawn missions. And they've got delays on them, and they've got, you know, like cooldowns and things like that. But, yeah, so basically in the background, the game's always trying to make missions happen, and just the question is, do you have too many missions already in your log? Like that will... Oh. Hello, Xbox! Thank you for crashing. That was great. I don't know what happened there. That was bizarre. Anyway, it's constantly trying to make missions happen. And so if you feel like a mission hasn't happened in a while, one thing that you can do is clear out other missions you currently have. And once you've got room, then at some point it'll cycle over and it'll try to make another mission. Now, missions usually require enclaves, and so if you filled up your map with allied enclaves and it doesn't have any room to spawn anymore, because enclaves are only allowed to be a certain distance from each other, like they can't get close enough together that everyone's AI is active all together at the same time. So if you got too many allied enclaves in your map that, like, you know, have a limited range of missions that they can do, and it can't spawn any new enclaves for new missions, then you could end up in a desert of missions. And at that point, it's like, I don't know, you've won the game, I guess. Okay, so the cannibals.
Shouldn't we go a little faster?
Shut up. The cannibals want us.
On my way now, hun.
I don't think this is the mission where they suddenly turn on you and you have to fight them. Because I don't want to take Yarn on that mission. That's a risky mission. If this is a mission like that, Yarn is running away. At least to equip the bloater gas launcher that she's got. So Twisted Logic asks, how often do the character-specific missions spawn? Some of them seem much more rare than others. Yeah, so actually I just did some telemetry research on that to find out which ones were rare and which ones were common. And like some of them, like Prepper Ant, is the most common one. It's the one that happens by far the most. And it's partly because it's got the fewest qualifications. It's just... It needs just a couple of very simple locations, and then it spawns the vehicle that it needs. And that's it. Whereas there are other ones that require like very specific things, like a musician, you know, or you know, the one about comic books. I think, is it the comic book one that requires a library, which means it can't even spawn at all in Meager Valley because there's no library in Meager Valley. So yeah, so a lot of the other ones of them have very tight qualifications. And I went through and I found some places where there were like narrow qualifications that maybe weren't necessary. And so I actually, as an experiment in a couple of missions, I've gone through and reduced some of the qualifications to see if they'll spawn more often after our next update. So I'm gonna do some research and see, because we don't want it to just be Prepper Ant all the time.
What's cooking?
That feels a cleaver. Sure. Why not? Let's get a cleaver, just because we want standing. I really should have given Christy a heavy weapon, so we'd both be killing zombies with heavy weapons. Where are we headed? Down south. Oh, 34 Painesville asks, a weird question that won't make sense until later. Do pronouns for survivors only show in text, or do the survivors speak them too? So you'll notice that that a lot of our missions can cast male survivors, female survivors, non-binary survivors, whatever, and the language of the text changes to use the correct pronouns for a character. And so like when we actually write those lines in dialogue, like so write the lines like in the mission scripting, we write this complicated, weird... Oh, hello, Feral. We write this complicated... Oh, and I don't have a decent weapon. Okay, good. Good, I was able to kill it with the car. That's pretty rare to be able to kill the Feral with a car. But I was like, yeah, my crossbow is not going to cut it when it comes to fighting a Feral. Did I end up bringing something else with me? I didn't. I had contemplated bringing a pistol with me, but I didn't. But yeah, so we write this complicated gobbledygook basically in our text strings, so that like each time we come to like a pronoun or something like that that needs to change because of the English language needs to change because of the gender of the character you're talking about, each time we write those, we have to like write some something in some curly brackets and like a bunch of stuff, a bunch of scripting to like tell it what to do and which words to say under different circumstances. And not only do we do that in English, but in other languages, they actually have to mark it up differently because different languages care about different things. In French, gender matters about inanimate objects as well, not just human characters. And and there's other languages that need to make verbs agree in different ways that English just doesn't care about, and stuff like that. And so, I haven't used enough of my crossbow bolts yet. And so so it's not just that the text has to change. Oh, and here's another crossbow. I didn't even need to make a crossbow. Hey, whatever.
So you don't know me, but I got an offer I'd like to propose.
I'll have to come back here later for some of this stuff. Actually, can I drop something in here? I can. Oh wait, why don't I have that equipped? I meant to have that equipped. Here, I can pick up one more thing. Pick up some more fire. We're going to need that for the guys. Anyway, so the text needs to be written in this complicated, different way per language, which is the reason I'm telling you all this is because I want to lead up to saying, no, the VO doesn't change. Because there would be no way to, like, I don't know. Because the like we haven't set up our subtitles the same way. Like, I mean, I know that, so when we localize the game, we luckily don't try to record different lines. We only do subtitles because trying to record different lines it's a expensive nightmare. But even the subtitles we don't have marked up the same way that we have the in-game text marked up. And so even if we did like try to do that, it's like I don't know. I feel like the changes that we would have to make across the board would just be really, really hard. Like trying to, not only record different lines in English for all the different permutations, all the different genders of characters. Because like if you've got like two different characters talking to each other, and they're both of their pronouns are being used, you wouldn't just need to make 2 or 3 different versions of the line. You'd need to make 4 or 6 different versions of the line. To reflect all the different combinations of gender. It would just get really, really crazy. And then add on top of that the fact that the subtitles would then need to be localized for not just the constraints of English, but also the constraints of every other language that we're localizing the subtitles to. The complexity of that would just get so ridiculously deep. Because we'd have different lines being split out in a certain way for English, but they actually would need to be split out a different way for the other languages. So it'd be like they'd be like double splitting, and my brain would explode. So any spoken line of dialogue. Actually, that's why some of the characters you talk about that are not present, like Chief Jackson or Eagle Eye, they get specific identities. Because if we were randomizing their identities, we'd have to record multiple lines for them and stuff like that. So that's why they have solid identities, so we can talk about them by name, refer to them by their correct pronouns, stuff like that. Yeah. So anyway, there's the answer to your question. So yes, we don't do it in the VO. We do it in the game text. Oh yeah, Painesville. That's right. We do have a shark. We do have a shark hoodie in the game. I'm trying to remember. I forgot what the qualification for unlocking it was. Looks like I've got it though. I feel like maybe that's what Tamati wants to wear now. Maybe he wants to be shark hoodie guy. So we're just gonna leave that shark hoodie right there. All right. Hey, Danny. Have fun chopping people's arms off and eating them.
Of course.
Yeah, 300 influence and probably a bunch of standing. Let's see, how are we doing standing-wise? Ooh, I'm a hero now. That means I can become a sheriff. Oh, and I also add labor. That's nice. Friendly reminders. I bother people until they do their jobs. All right, so let's pick our leader. And our leader is going to be Yaren, the sheriff. Yes. However, Yaren is still, I think her skills still need to be leveled up before she's ready to take on the final battle. That means we need to get into fights. Specifically with this screamer. Oh wait, I forgot I was supposed to crouch. Dang it. And that was a completely wasted Molotov. I forgot that I had to crouch. That makes me mad. Oh yeah, your stamina is not high enough yet. That's why we're doing this. Okay, hey, how about we set them all on fire? Christy, you're fine. You're fine. Walk it off. Walk it off. You're good. Okay, I can't believe I wasted a screamer. I've got so many screamers I'm supposed to take care of here. Christy? Fine, whatever. We're going to level up that shooting skill somehow. So, Painesville, I'm glad that you appreciate the work that we did trying to make, characters, pronouns and stuff line up. It's, however you feel about, I mean, sometimes just saying the word pronoun can, give you a little bit of, a heart attack. Because, oh, no, somebody is going to start some big political debate over pronouns. But, I mean, yeah, I mean, when people are trying to say weird things like, I never use pronouns, I'm like, what are you talking about? The English language is full of pronouns. You have to get pronouns right. Just, no matter what, every single person is constantly trying to get pronouns right. That's what actually, makes it difficult for someone who maybe grew up in a culture that considers a lot of, wow, oh my gosh. A lot of the stuff that we do to support, people who are, trans or non-binary, by, making sure that we're communicating about pronouns and using sort of, acknowledging and using the pronouns that people, identify with. Even if you come from a background where that feels foreign to you and it feels strange and and it feels like, why are you making me do this? I don't understand this. Even then, you are still, the reason it's hard, the reason it's difficult to make that transition is because your brain is constantly trying to find the right pronouns to use all the time. And getting pronouns wrong just feels terrible, right? If you're reading, my son, my 6-year-old son has struggled with pronouns, just figuring them out on a linguistic level his whole life. He just is constantly, getting someone's pronouns wrong, not in some kind of malicious way, but just because he doesn't know how the words work. And he and it's disconcerting to talk to him when he's getting it wrong. You have to get pronouns right in order for it to feel right. And so when somebody, when people make the assumption that someone, should basically, if you use a pronoun for somebody that doesn't feel like it's the right pronoun for them, it feels wrong deep inside. Somebody to have the wrong pronoun be used for them. I mean, hearing my son just innocently using wrong pronouns for people, it feels bad. You're like, no, get it right, kid. You feel like you have to correct it really fast. And so I don't know. Just imagining living in a world where everyone around you just wants to use the wrong pronouns for you all the time sounds terrible. It sounds like a really bad experience. And so, I think it's really good that sort of, I don't know, society is starting to come around to, not just, understanding the importance of using pronouns just to communicate accurately, from a certain, very limited point of view, but actually, really listening to people about what feels right to them, how they want to be talked about, and taking that seriously instead of just sort of imposing whatever my expectations are on somebody else. Anyway, I don't know. It's a subject where, I understand. I was raised in a very conservative culture, where anything that sort of violated the gender norms that I grew up with was treated with skepticism. And like, what is somebody's real agenda? You know, whenever somebody does something that just seems like it sort of violates the norms you grew up with, you're like, wait, why are you changing that? What does that mean? And you end up sort of reacting with suspicion. And I think that's a lot of what I see is just sort of like suspicion, like, what's this going to do? How is this going to change society? What am I going to lose because I'm accommodating this? And it's usually not a very specific idea. You usually don't have a very specific idea of exactly what harm something's supposed to cause. You're just like, this is something new, and it might be scary, and I don't know, why do we have to do this? So I kind of get it. But at the same time, like, this is an important, you know, learning to understand that other people have different perspectives from you, and that it's actually important not to just do whatever makes you happiest, but that society works because we're all constantly doing things and making accommodations for other people to take their perspective seriously and do things that make them happy. Like, that's how society works. That's what society is all about. You don't have civilization unless you're doing that. And so, yeah. So anyway, that's my little spiel that 34 Painesville just got me off on. So if anybody didn't like that, blame 34 Painesville. I'm kidding. 34 Painesville is fine. The whole reason I'm playing this game is because 34 Painesville wants me to play State of Decay 2 literally all the time. All right, let's see here. Oh, Sada Hotpot points out that if I was playing in Nightmare Zone, a lot of these bounties that I'm going after would be a lot easier to do. And I agree. Oh, hey, there's a Screamer. Right next to a Juggernaut, but whatever. That's true, because like the freaks would be spawning much more densely. I would get entire hordes of Screamers coming after me. And it would not be nearly... Yeah. Nearly as much of a hassle just to find the things I'm trying to target. Okay, the question is, can I crouch and take out this Screamer without getting murdered by this Juggernaut? Look at that! Look at that nonsense!
Could you let me catch up?
Ha! One shot! Ha ha ha! They were just extra forgiving with that one. I think there's like huge head sensing sensors on the ends of arrows. Oh, missed. Well, I succeeded where it counted anyway. Yeah, that's not working. Okay. Anyway, let's go find more Screamers. So Tyler Edwards says, I'm always glad when companies or entities take the initiative and without waiting for some law to take place in order to force them to do things. So actually, and I got to say, like, I was not the most sort of like woke informed person about this kind of thing when we started the game. I knew very little about, you know, people being non-binary. I'd heard of it, but that was about it. Back in like 20 whatever, when it was we were first working on this game and first implementing the character system. It was actually, I got to give credit to my friend Ian Adams, who was a designer on the project at the time. He was the one who brought it up. It was like when we were talking about, you know, making it so that our sentences could swap pronouns all the time. He was the one who said, we can't do this unless we're also including non-binary identities. And I was like, explain this to me. And because at the time I was pretty ignorant about it at the time. I just have never been really, you know, exposed to a lot of that stuff. And so he explained it to me, and I started, you know, kind of looking it up and learning more about it. And we were like, yeah, I mean, it literally hurts nothing for us to do this. Like, if we're going to be implementing, you know, two genders, it does not actually make anything any harder to implement 3 different sets of pronouns. Like, there was literally no other. No, I mean, occasionally, yeah, we have to type a couple of extra words sometimes. That's it. It's like not a big deal. And so it just seemed like, oh yeah, well, of course. I didn't even realize this was a thing, but if this is a thing, absolutely. Why would we not do that? And so yeah, so you'll find that a very small number of characters use they them pronouns. And now we haven't gone any further than that, than just having the they them pronouns in there. And so I feel like there's definitely further that the game could go. There's more that we could do. And I think that State of Decay 2 might kind of be in the zone that it could get to in the time that it was first created. But I think as the franchise moves on, I suspect that you're going to see a lot more and better representation among our characters. That's just a vague prediction. I don't have any specific knowledge of what the other team is working on. So, I'm not going to I can't make specific promises about that, but I do know who is working on it. And, and I believe that this stuff is really important to the people who are on that team. Oh, so Santa Hotpot says, I actually still don't know what being non-binary is. Okay, and I'm not going to be the best person to explain it because, it's not an experience that I've had firsthand. Wandering Trader, neat. Let's find out what they've got. But as I understand it, and this is just me attempting to explain it, being non-binary means that neither of the common gender labels, being female or being male, feels like it applies accurately to you. And I think that actually the phrase non-binary, or the term non-binary, it covers a wide variety of different experiences. I think different non-binary people often experience it in different ways. But basically, it's sort of, how, the internal experience somebody has of their gender. It's not just a binary thing where, you're either you feel like a boy or you feel like a girl. Well, wait a minute. Oh, gotcha. I don't even know if I can take this route. Maybe I need to go around. That there are a lot of people who, whose experience of themselves and their own gender is somewhere in between. Either it has a mix of both, or it's just off. It's off in a different direction somewhere, or there are some people who just feel like their gender is fluid and is never really solidifies in a single place. There are people who feel like they're whose experience with gender is they just feel like they have none at all. And all of those sort of different experiences kind of get wrapped up in the non-binary label, where somebody's just like, if you call me him or if you call me her, both of those feel wrong. And it feels weird to be called that. And so oftentimes they'll ask to people who have that experience will ask to be to either use some alternate recently coined pronouns. That was sort of the style for a while. I think people are starting to settle into they and them being the pronouns that most people prefer, just because that's already a common thing in English. It's actually when you don't know the gender of someone, say you're talking about I don't know, the cook at a restaurant. They made some food was brought out to you, and you want to send your compliments to the chef. You have no idea. You've never seen the person. You have no idea what gender they are. And so if you say, could you tell them that I really like the food? That's just a completely normal thing to do in English. This guy's name is Tweak.
Let's trade, okay?
Sounds good.
Oh, hey, repeating crossbow. That's what I need if I'm going to be running around doing crossbow stuff. Ooh, bolt crafting tool set. You can make more bolts. Oh, gas launcher rounds. I need that. Definitely. I've got way too many crossbow bolts. I don't need to... Okay, I've got a Mamba. There's a Wraith. I could grab a Wraith, too. Why not, right? Ooh, the advanced biochem station. That's what I need. That's what I need. I can make some of this stuff. And then I don't know, I don't need these seeds. I'll sell those. I want to grab more things. Ooh, Zedrenaline. So the zombies will ignore me while they're fighting other people. Okay, let's just sell my snacks. Don't need my snacks. Because I kind of want this Wraith. Let's grab the Wraith. Okay. Okay, we're good. We got lots of stuff here. But anyway, so Sad Hot Pot, if that's what you... if you were curious, then yeah, that's how I understand it. So, I mean, again, somebody who actually is non-binary might explain a lot of that in a different way. I'm really not sure, but that's how I understand it. And so I'd really encourage you to, look up folks, on the internet who actually have that experience and listen to the way they talk about themselves and pick up what you can. Because I think that, that's noticing, like my kids and their friends, a lot of these identities, people's experiences with their own identity that seem novel to people who grew up in a different era are actually more common than a lot of us realized. That people, because there wasn't a publicly accepted label for it, or because, there was a lot of skepticism around it, a lot of folks, go their whole, historically have gone their whole lives never admitting to anyone that, okay, seriously, are we going to be going back and forth? Because that's amazing. Yeah, yes. Hey, zombie, come here. Anyway, a lot of people live their entire lives never sort of admitting, who never being able to admit who they were. And so, like, now that we're sort of in an era where this kind of thing is much more understood and accepted, at least by certain segments of the population, my kids have a lot of friends who have, these kinds of identities. And, my kids are growing up with the experience that this stuff is normal. And they're actually pretty practiced at, switching up the pronouns for somebody, realizing that, oh, somebody's just told me that they actually prefer different pronouns than I've been using. Okay, I'll use those pronouns now. And the struggles that an adult who never grew up with that has sometimes trying to learn how to do that, how to change their mental assumptions and the way that they sort of consider another person. My kids are learning to do it at a young age, and they're getting, much better at it. I think that people who have those kinds of identities are going to, I think that there's a bright future ahead where, a lot more people are going to be completely comfortable accepting them, and people are going to get to be, more honest about who they are without, feeling like they're about to, take on a bunch of negative consequences that they don't deserve. And, because I mean, no one can control their identity. No one can control, who they are inside. You're born with it, or in some cases people make slight shifts over time as they mature, but like by and large, even those slight shifts, it's not like you're doing them on purpose. Like what your personality is, what your identity is something that just you're given. You receive it, and then it's up to you to deal with it, whatever it is. And so it's like, so I'm glad that sort of we're taking the burden off people to try to conform their identities to what everyone else expects, and instead are putting the burden on everyone else to be like, you know what? Like, it's my job to figure out how to understand you. It's not your job to change yourself to make yourself more easy to understand.
We're not letting any of those
And really, I mean, it just doesn't hurt anything to let people be themselves. It just doesn't hurt. And so why would we not? So, let's see here. Average YouTuber says, hey, Jeffrey, were there any freak Zeds that you really wanted to see in the game that got cut? Yeah, so there weren't any that we actually started building and then cut while they were incomplete. Like if I tell you about this stuff, just realize that, I'm not telling you about things that almost got in the game. I'm talking about ideas we had that never even started getting made. So it's not like this is just waiting in the wings to happen. But like we had one idea for a zombie that would be mostly about the experience of exploring a house. That it would basically live on the ceiling. It would spawn in stuck to the ceiling of an interior, and would wait for you to get close, and then it would jump on you from above. And we thought of making it like really sticky, just like covering it with like, I don't know, black tar or something. Oh wait, where is the? Oh.
Keep that screamer quiet.
What screamer? Thank you, Christy. Oh, that was a great shot. Wow. Where's the screamer? Somebody probably shot it already. I really should grab some more of the actual ammo for this thing. Yeah, so
I think we can all breathe now.
that was what we talked about. We also talked about doing one that was covered in spikes. It was back when we had sort of an earlier conception of like how cars would work, and we thought like popping tires was going to be a part of cars. So we thought like we could make a zombie that's covered in spikes. And the main thing you have to solve for any freak is how is a car not the instant way to defeat it? Ferals dodge, screamers are mostly inside, bloaters fill the car with gas, and juggernauts destroy the car. And oh, hello. There we go. And so you always had to come. So we thought of doing one with spikes, where basically if you ran it over, it would just instantly pop all the tires of your car, and do a bunch of extra damage to the car just by hitting it. And so you'd have to get out and deal with it because hitting it was so dangerous.
Take care now.
Yeah, no on mine was like spider zombie. Basically, yeah, the zombie that would stick to the ceiling would have had like kind of a spidery sort of animation, probably. I mean, again, we never made it. We barely even concepted very many of these things, and so maybe someday. The thing is, I don't know. Like, if we add more freaks to the game in the future, we'll start from scratch, and we won't necessarily do these same ones that we've thought of in the past. We'd start the process over and think, with everything we've learned now. Now, what kind of zombies do we want? Okay, so we've got that biochem station thing. So let's uninstall this thing, and let's install the new guy.
This noise is going to attract real trouble.
All right, we just had a siege, so no, it's not. Thank you. Aha. Yeah, let's install some fertilizer to increase our production here at the farm. I think everything else probably has all of the stuff it needs. One thing I'd like to do is maybe we should recruit somebody else. Oh, there's another mysterious broadcast. But yeah, okay, so let's see here. So we've got all these bounties. I'm right in the middle of these bounties. I guess I kind of want to continue the bounties. How long have we been? We've been doing this for nearly an hour. So maybe it's actually time for me to take a break. Yeah, okay, so next session, I want to keep leveling up Yaren. I want to keep earning these bounties, though I don't know. There's so much progress to be made on these bounties. Maybe I'll play with them in another community and try to make some progress with them rather than making Yaren do all the work. But our goal ultimately is we want to... we do have room in our community to recruit one person because we lost Lee. And so we can recruit one other person, which will help us... actually, let's just call in somebody on the radio right now.
Hey, are there any folks hanging around?
That's how we'll end this. We'll call in a new community,
Talk to you.
and maybe we'll recruit from them later once we've got the recruiting people bounty.
Hi there.
So, oh, right. Okay, yeah. So the marker for the mission doesn't appear until they're done talking. I actually have changed this. It drives me crazy that when I call somebody in, I have to wait until this subtitle goes away before I can actually see where their base is. See, now it appears. Now I can see it. So I've actually fixed that. Like in my local, in our oh crap bloater, in our internal version of the game, you actually, after the very first line, you get the marker. So you can start driving there while those subtitles are still on the screen. Because that was just too annoying. So, yeah, I fixed that just yesterday. So, Prime and Rhyme say, how would I feel about a freak that spawned other zombies? It was basically like walking around like a plague heart. And it was like this big lump of flesh, and it would just make other zombies come out. We actually had an idea for like a juggernaut that would split open and reveal another zombie inside the juggernaut. That was silly. I think somebody might have even done like a some kind of test of it. Looks like an animatic or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, we were seriously considering it, but I think there's lots of things we didn't do. We didn't even end up making the female freaks we wanted to make. And so, we definitely never got to that craziness like that. So... Yep, feel free to reach out. Okay, so these folks, I'm not going to recruit them because I want to get credit for a bounty for recruiting them, so I'll just leave them here for now. But next time we come in here, maybe I'll have made some progress on my bounties. Maybe we can put those bounties to bed and then come and grab some of these people. And let's try not to hit the bloater that I know is between me and my base. Where is that bloater? Oh, it's decided to take a nap. Is that it?
Stay back from the cloud.
Yep, that's the bloater. Average YouTuber asks, would you look to the community for freak ideas? if you wanted to make more. I don't know if we would explicitly go to the community like, oh, we need freak ideas. Let's look at the community. I think that we're always listening to the community. And so, like, when you folks make suggestions, we file them away in our heads like everything else, right? And so we're always drawing from just all of the ideas that we've collected over time. So it's not that we would not look at the community. It's just we would draw from all of the different sources of inspiration we have, from, movies we've seen to suggestions the community made to just ideas that popped up within the team. There wouldn't be any one source that we would look at primarily. We would just, talk about just whatever ideas came up. We would just talk them all through and then sort of settle on ones that we agreed were the best. All right, let's see here. Prime and Rhyme is suggesting, what about a half-infected freak having some human sense and intelligence? So it would talk to you like, help me, I need help. And if you approached it, it would attack you, doing heavy damage. So what we would need, the problem is, you never encounter normal humans on the road as it is. I think if we were to make a freak like that work, we would need to actually change the way that humans work, so that encountering a normal human on the street would be a normal thing, which is not crazy. It's a thing that we couldn't just easily do right now, but I think one of my priorities for the future is definitely try to improve the player's experience with other humans, and just what that whole deal is like. Like what negotiating with enclaves is like, what it's like to encounter people in the world. I would love to do a lot more with that. What it's like for people to relate to each other inside your community. Right now, our priorities are on other things, and so we've got a few other things we need to get through before then, which are also good. But I'm really hoping. One of my fondest hopes for this game is that it stays successful long enough that I can start making a difference to the way that the humans behave, because I feel like that's one of our biggest deficits. But it's behind other priorities right now, and there were priorities that I agree with. I think this is the right move. I think that we're handling things the right way. I'm not complaining, but there's just so much to do, and it just takes a lot of time. So. Anyway, okay, I think we're done with this session, though. So let's wrap this up. If you would like to subscribe to my channel, you can do that by pressing that button that doesn't exist if you're watching me live, and I look like a giant weirdo. Next time I play with the free people, it goes there. So click on that and stuff.